Hey everybody, how you doing? We are back. I got some cool stuff to show you, and I wanted to devote most of this time to the Q&A because we kind of been not doing that lately, and I think last stream I ran for like 30 minutes without even showing the game. So um, I'm going to do mostly Q&A on this one, and then I'm probably going to do another one later where I implement a feature in the game, but maybe not tonight. Let's just do a quick rundown of what we got going on this week. Let me flip over to here. There we go. There's a couple things we've been working on. I don't exactly remember where we were last time, but we have guns working in the game, and it's kind of cool now that you can actually break blocks. Now, the first thing is when I show people this stuff, immediately what they start to get like really concerned with the details. They say like, oh, is this the gun it's going to be? Or like, why is the slide back on the gun? Or our gun's going to break bricks? And I think what people don't understand is how games are made. What you do is usually you just try to get everything working first, and then you work out the details as time goes on. So we're doing a lot of that right now. We're just figuring out how things are going to look and how things are going to play out. We just got a rainstorm here. So a lot of people, as soon as I put stuff up, I have to be. It's hard because I have to be really careful because people will like immediately say like, oh, why is it a Glock instead of a 911, and why is it and it's like none of that stuff is like really important. Like nobody on the team is looking at that stuff right now. What we're doing is just trying to make sure everything like looks and feels good. And most of the stuff is going to be replaced anyways. So the other thing, if you weren't on the last stream, the other thing we got is enemies. And again, these are the original CastleMiner Z enemies. But we could shoot them now, which we weren't able to do before. I actually don't, I haven't done this yet, and I'm not sure if we could kill them. And we can, which is pretty easy. And we also have skeletons that pop up. They got these cool glowing eyes, which is something I always wanted in the original game. Like if we go back in this cave here, you can see how scary this is going to be. Should spawn a couple of these other eyes. The other thing I want to say too is big decision this week is we replaced the rock. And the reason is because we developed a technology. Oh, here we go. We got chased down by a zombie. So it's not exactly what it's going to look like in the final game, but it gives you an idea about what it's going to feel like to be in these environments, being chased by these things. Put a couple more in here before we quit this. And I think I actually have to pick up ammunition at this point. So it's rough, but it's an idea of what's gonna work. Let me turn a light on here. And again, like the intent here is to redo the enemies, but the rock has been replaced. I don't know how to get out of here. Just dig my way out. The other thing we had put in this week was that we have this block. Let me turn the light off here. This cool block breaking effect that uses real physics to break the blocks. These are set up for this now, but it'll probably change. It's cool when we block things, break things up on top. And we're trying to get the environments dialed in from the game. But the rock is new. And the reason is because we have this new technology that let us make like higher detail textures, basically. And we picked out our artist got some really good materials for this. And the rain here doesn't do it justice. So what I'm going to do here is for a second, I'm going to back here. I'm going to restart this in a way where I can adjust the weather while it's running. Let's restart. And now, yes, now I can change this to like partly cloudy here. That is the first time that I've not seen that work. Of course. No, absolutely not. Let's see if I made a mistake. Okay, here I just brought the sun out so we could see things better. I should be able to change these now. I don't understand why. I've never had a problem changing the weather before. Yeah, we're fine. I don't know if you haven't seen the weather yet. Weather is awesome. Um, so let's go back to some partly cloudy skies and get a good look at the rock texture. Like this was a hard thing for me because one of the things that we struggle with in the game is like how much of the original game to keep and how much to improve things. And I'm really worried that the game won't end up looking or feeling like the original game did at all. So I really highly scrutinize all the pieces that went into the game. Uh, so And this is kind of cool because if you see this from a distance, it's like way less repetitive than the old texture was. And if you get, they're very, very, very high detail. So if you get really, really close to them, like you start to really, I mean, if I get in the light here, you can start to like really pick up the details in these textures. And there's a couple textures we have like this. We're putting in rock. I think I could break these with the gun if I shoot them enough. Yeah, you can see it cracking as I'm shooting. And I don't know if he has the decals in there yet. Let's see. Yeah, and it's using the old rock, and I have to write that down. Like that is a total bug, and I have to fix it. When it breaks, it's using the old rock. Uh, okay, um, that's my bad. The other textures that'll be like that is as we're putting another rock texture down, sort of deep in the world. Um, so and then there'll be a whole thing with the desert. And I don't want to talk about it too much because I might end up doing it on a stream. We have the weapon effects in there too, so we can see sort of like the impacts of on different materials. Like this is dirt. Let's see if I can find another one. Wood, I think, has a different one. And, they're not great, but they definitely need work. But um, we are planning to do that. Let me see if sand actually has a different one. I think that these should probably break faster. Yeah, sand has a stand-in effect because the effect are going to be placed there. Another big thing that happened this week is we released the soundtrack, and there was a lot of commotion about that. I think I addressed a lot of this stuff on the Discord. There was a lot of vocal tracks on the soundtrack. I thought it was sort of a fun thing to do. It seemed to make people more upset than it was. The soundtrack's on Spotify if you want to listen to it. The short of it is that none of those vocal tracks are intended to ever make it to the game. Like, they were going to be done for promotional purposes. And the one that would be is the theme music, and the community is taken upon themselves to attempt to do their own version of that, and we sort of addressed that over there. The crux of it is that, and I can go into detail if we have questions about it, but we over the years we've sourced music from different sources, and one of them is a professional studio that makes music for AAA movies, basically like the Avengers movies and stuff like that. And what I was saying is that the instrumental tracks, the tracks that'll play like during the game, if the Kickstarter is funded, we'll most likely source the music from those places to avoid all the commotion with the community. And if we find another better theme song in the meantime, like I'm definitely willing to I'm definitely willing to consider it. So I'm gonna look into this Pretty Sunset here, and I'm gonna start answering some questions from the forum or from the chat here. And it's kind of hard for me to do this and go back, so I don't want to get too far behind. So I'm going to kind of like answer them in reverse order. First question is there going to be laser guns added to the remasters versions? No question. I have a lot of plans for the laser guns. Oh, someone's asking me to go back to the falling water. Yeah, sure. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation. That is very, very generous of you. Here's the water. I think we've adjusted the anti-aliasing. There's an issue. Let me turn it back to day for you. There was an issue with anti-aliasing in the water, and we've been fighting this. And I think we have this set to yes. This is the right type of anti-aliasing for the game, because the water otherwise looks absolutely horrible. Yeah, but here is these. This is the lagoon, and we have water set up to fall off the top of these as waterfalls. And they're pretty cool because the light shines through them. So, like, if I can catch one of these, you can kind of see that the light actually shines through these things. Someone's asking if I'm working on this by myself, and I'm not. I have the original people that worked on the game together in a weird stroke of luck. And it's an interesting story because I've wanted to do this for a long time, but I didn't want to do it alone. And the people who made the people who contributed to the original game were sort of like very important in the development of it, obviously. So getting them together was an important part of doing this project. So having them together is, oh wow, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate this. The support from you guys. Like, I didn't really, our channel got monetized back about a week ago, and I didn't expect, this wasn't something that I really expected. So it's overwhelming that you guys would do this. But the original team is back together, and what I really realized is that one of the things that was the most important to me about doing this was being able to work with people that I oh wow, like, again, like, so generous. Like, I can't, like, I so much like appreciate this so much. Asura um, asked a question here about if the enemies in the games will change, will they get new attacks and moves? And I would say, like with almost 100% certainty, the enemies will change in the game. What we have right now is stand-in. We're looking at redoing the games. The zombies are pretty iconic, so we have to. It's actually one of the most challenging parts of this is we have to get like a zombie made for us that is like really represents the zombie in the game, and they definitely will come with like some sort of new animations or attacks. So, but it's a difficult thing because we're trying to preserve the original feeling of the game. But again, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. Are there plans for achievements? This is another one said like, yes, absolutely. We would put Steam achievements in the game. Probably Xbox achievements too. I have to look at how that works over on there. Somebody's asked, this is an interesting question. Somebody's planning on expanding the team for the project. So right now there is 4 of us. So there's me, John, who is the primary programmer. There's Heinz, who's the artist. And then I have a 4th person who I can't say the name of, but he's essentially like a famous game designer. And eventually he will be helping support the game long term. And if I told you the games that he had worked on in the past, like 100%, you would recognize all of them. But like he is remaining anonymous right now. And somebody's asking if there's a plan to expand the team for the game. And of course, all of this hinges on whether or not the game is well received. So obviously, if the game is received well and we have the ability to expand the team, we will definitely do this. But the important thing to understand is right now, everybody is doing this for free. Like these people are all doing this with this combination of just a love for the product, a love for working together, and wanting to bring this to you. And everybody on the team is like putting their lives at like extreme risk. To everybody's working on this full time, and they're all putting their lives in like sort of extreme risk in faith that this on some level will work out for us. And the hope that everybody has is that we can continue to do this afterwards. So the support that you give us, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Speed UU. This is funny. I did not expect this as being part of the, being monetized here. It wasn't what I was looking for, but I definitely appreciate it. Somebody's asking to show us Hell. There's some lighting issue with Hell right now, but I will totally go down there and show this. But basically, while I'm still on this, is that everybody doing this is like. In fact, I had a meeting this morning where everybody was saying like, well, we're really nervous about how this is going to turn out, and I'm like, I can't. There's no promises I can make except delivering the best product that we possibly can with 4 people working on this. But everybody sort of has like a very limited time period to work on this, and we're trying to like use our time and our resources in the best way possible. Somebody asked me to go down to Hell. I'm gonna do that really fast. I could probably just shoot down there. Let me turn on some lights, and this is like our emergency light while we're developing. Oh wow! Thank you, Kisadesu. So generous. I appreciate this so much. Somebody asked what engine this is created on. This is Unreal Engine 5. It's sort of like the newest version of Unreal Engine, and so far we're loving it. The lighting and effects in this engine are amazing. And it's been very easy to work in. Our last couple of games were in Unity. Not a huge fan of Unity. I don't think anybody on the team is. But Unreal has given us like the ability to just do like amazing lighting, if nothing else. let me show off some of that in the caves if people haven't seen this yet. What's really great is if I can get down to a place where there's lava, which is kind of where you... Oh, here we go. Turn my light off, and you can see all the light reflecting around with the lava. This is one of the things that Unreal Engine lets us do really good, and I can place lanterns down too. One of the things we're working on right now, you can see the light kind of bouncing off everything in the caves. It's really sort of amazing. And one of the things we're working on right now is the torches and the lighting in the caves, because the caves are we're still working out how the lighting will work in the caves. Let's go down deeper, and here we are. We're in new Hell 2.0 here. This is you can see there's a lot of changes to Hell. Like there's the lava pools look differently. I think I have a video somewhere else where I was doing the lava pool. We have lava pouring down from the ceiling, and water too, if you find them somewhere, and the stalactites and stalagmites. I'm glad that the lighting worked down here, because every time I come down here I seem to have lighting issues. But yeah, and the cool thing is, if you pop above the cave, like, you know, it's like Hell like ends up lighting the caves from below, which is kind of cool. And every once in a while that leads to like some really cool visual stuff. And we could go into one of these caves. The world is much deeper. I think I've mentioned this in a lot of streams. The world is I think 256 blocks deep now, and it's another 256 high. I'm almost positive that that's the correct numbers. Let's get up in the cave here. Hey, actually, you know, while we're down here, let's like just spawn a couple skeletons. See, like, when these guys chase us out. And you can see like the gun effects lighting up the caves and stuff like that. So let me back up a little bit. Somebody's asking here if you can play with your Xbox avatar. It's most likely you will not be able to. I don't even know if it's possible anymore to do. If it was something that was possible, I would definitely do it. But I don't think it's possible. The game. Somebody's asking here if the game will have mod support. I would love the game to have mod support. Like right now, we're just trying to get a game out the door. So. So, I mean, that's definitely our priority first. Somebody's asking here if they can have this is an interesting question. If they can have a roadmap about what's being worked on and what will be worked on. We have this internally, but we don't usually publish this publicly. Oh, wow. Thank you for the donations, guys. Somebody's asking if we have a Patreon. I really haven't considered that yet, but if... that could possibly be something that that we do. Somebody's asking if the demons are still in the game. Like they're going to be. I'm real definitely. There may be different modification. Like there may be different enemies for some of those things. The zombies will definitely stay, but we're trying to evaluate. And right now we're in this early spot where we don't, this is so overwhelming, the support that you guys are giving me. I appreciate this so much. I just want to make call outs to everybody here in the last stream. There was Gage Irwin, Jordan S, Lil C, and Vixen, VXNNN. And I appreciate this so much. There was a question about a Patreon. We don't have a Patreon. I've thought about putting one up. I think if I was going to do that, I don't know. Maybe I will. And typically, we've never really asked for crowdfunding. I have a link to the Kickstarter, I believe I pinned, oh, maybe I didn't do this, is that we are going to run a Kickstarter for the game. And this is very important to us because it will show us how interested you are in having this. And right now, our budget for the game is basically like zero. Everybody is working for free. And we are trying to figure out what's the what's the most efficient and best use of resources. And if the Kickstarter gets funded, we basically will have more ability to do more things in the game than we would have been able to do before. Again, Tastrophe, $5. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, again, oh my God, like this is completely overwhelming. Did not expect this. I almost want to turn this off because it's like, this is just so overwhelming to me that I like didn't expect this at all. Tastrophe, who asked, would love to have in-game character customization and doing challenges to changing your character. I would love to have character customization too, and we've talked about this in other streams. If there is no way that we could ship a character customization screen with the release of the initial game, it's just not feasible. It's almost like half the work in making the game would be a character customization system. But if the game is received well, we could definitely do that. So depending on how much support we get for the product, we could definitely add that in as a feature later on. It's something I would love to do. I would love to have character customization and weapon customization as a whole like level of like play characters, like armor and weapon customization. But it's just it's very, very difficult to make a game this involved with only 4 people without having like our other catalog of games like supporting the development of this. So right now, sort of like everybody is working on the game, sort of like worried about what's going to happen to them, at the end of this when this is done. And if everybody knows that they're going to be okay at the end of this, then everybody could be in a much better position to do updates on this. And my plan is to continue to do long-term updates on this. I have a long-term plan in process to do this going forward. Seth Crane, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Xbox 360, been playing since the 360 games. The 360 days were great. They were amazing, and I miss them so much. Somebody's asking here, will there still be the same tier of weapons like in the game? Right now, that's all in there. The iron, copper, gold, diamond. We're replicating all of that stuff. So the idea is that we would leave that stuff there, and we would add stuff over there. TCP Dizzy, thank you very much. Will there be quality of life improvements for endurance game mode? What the question here is about, they're asking about the crashing, the laser weapons and bugs, and it's like, if we are able to continue development on the product, we will continue to development, and we obviously don't intentionally ship games with bugs. So and as a small team, it's I think we've done pretty well at creating a relatively stable product. But these were sort of like the last few remaining bugs, and a lot of these we actually tried hard to find. There was things that we knew about, and we tried very, very hard to find these bugs. The game is being completely rewritten from the ground up in Unreal Engine. So actually, let me change the camera here. The game is being completely rewritten from the ground up. So any bugs that were in like the old game, like won't be there. There'll probably be in the beginning a lot of bugs. So we're signing up beta testers, which kind of brings me to my other topic. I am collecting people who want to be beta testers for the game. I should have had this link ready. And there's a list where you can sign up. Now, signing up doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be in the beta program. We usually give these out in the order that they're put out, and there's actually a lot of people on the list right now. But what we usually have a method for rolling these out and letting people collect the keys, and if they don't collect them, we sort of move them on. I'm actually going to pin this link to the top right here and replace the Kickstarter one. If you haven't. If you can't donate to the Kickstarter, it's fine. But clicking it and saying that you're interested in it is a good indicator for us about how interested people are in the game. And that's, I guess, our biggest concern right now is that we're trying to understand how many people are interested in the game. Another donation from Seth Crane. He talks about it was his favorite 360 game. The 360 days were so fun. They were so overwhelmingly fun. I wish that I could go back to them. I gotta make sure I at least could go back and like all your. Can I like multiple? Oh, I can like multiple like your posts. Like I have no idea how this works. I really appreciate the support, you guys. Like I just didn't expect this at all. So yeah, I missed the 360 days. It was so fun to publish games here, but hopefully we can bring that back. And really, the end goal of this is to get this back on the Xbox, because that's sort of the home where it started, and that's the place where it went along, where it came along. There is somebody's asking here about the Discord. There's a Discord server for the community. I want to leave the beta sign up thing up here a little bit longer, and as I get further into the stream, I will post the link to the community. The community has been great. It's not my community. There's a Discord community. I can post the link to it up here, and I'll pin it later. Here we go. These people are great. They run this by themselves, and I visit it often to show the progress of the game and discuss different things that are going on in the game. It's also a great place to add suggestions. Somebody's asking if optimization would be a big focus. And they're saying there's a lack of optimization in Unreal 5. I don't actually believe that's true. I think that Unreal 5 is a AAA quality engine, and you sort of have to be focused on optimization all the time. So we would have to be we always have to be focused on optimization, basically, when we're making any sort of game. Somebody here, I just got a donation from TCP Disney asking if they could buy a way into the beta. I want to make sure that everybody who is really interested in the community can be a part of the beta. I definitely want to give priority to the people who are giving active contribution and supporting us on the forums, and I really want to make sure that I prioritize those people first. I'll try to do that the best I can. Being active in the Discord is probably the best way for me to notice you. But when this comes to it, definitely I want to support early supporters. And this is one of the reasons why, the way that we rolled out the beta was to make the link available to people in different places first. I really should give access. I really should give access to people who give donations, but I need to do this in some sort of organized way. Otherwise, I'll miss people, and I want to make sure that I don't do that. So I have to really. I'm afraid to say anything right now. I'm afraid to say anything right now because I want to make sure that this actually happens. Somebody asked me, this is an interesting question. Again, Gage Irwin, thank you for the donation. Would the ID at Xbox program help you at all? I have been a part of the ID at Xbox program since it began. I've never shipped anything on there. I've gone through the approval system before. Ultimately, Xbox has to decide where the what gets on the Xbox and not, and there's always like risk that Microsoft will just say no. Like we have sort of not a great history of that with them, uh, so that's always a risk. But I've been part of the ID program. I'm familiar with the submission process, and the intention is to go to Steam first, just because it's easier to update and stabilize the game in Steam, and then Unreal Engine will let us very easily port over to Xbox, and we would definitely do that through the ID program, which I'm already a member of. Corrupted 11. Thank you so much for the donation. Saying that the game was a blast. Can't wait for the experience the masterpiece. I appreciate it. I hope that we can live up to your expectations, and I really appreciate the donation. Somebody's asking here, will the animation for reloading a weapon be the same as the original CastleMiner Z? No. There probably won't be any animation shared between the original game and the new version of it. It's actually not really possible for us to share the player animations, and that's something that we were planning on completely redoing. Somebody here is just thanking us for remaking the game. I have to thank you people for being so supportive and allowing us to do this. It's amazing. It's amazing the support and the from the community that we've gotten, and we appreciate every bit of it. It makes working on this so much easier than it's supposed to be. Somebody's asking if there's old cheat codes will work in the game. Probably not, but we'll probably have new cheat codes, is the guess. Thank you, by the way, Black Hood. Thank you very, very, very much. Did not expect to come on here and get donations from you guys. Somebody's asking here about the playable characters. Originally, the playable characters, we have some ideas of what they're going to look like. They'll be different from all of the other games. But not customizable yet, and not your avatar. We can't ship with that. Thank you, Nick Zilla. He's saying that would the Steam and Xbox have crossplay? I actually don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I have my immediate answer would probably be no, because I don't know what goes into that. But if there is some like easy way of us putting crossplay, excuse me, if there was some easy way of putting crossplay in, we will definitely look into it. I mean, I would like to have it if we can. We are definitely trying to keep the game the same on the Xbox and the PC. I think in the past the problem was the games were completely separate from each other, and but we'll definitely look into that. Somebody's asking if the world generation repeat loop will go further. You go from the spawn before it will be a new system. Right now, it's actually set up. This is actually worth talking about, because right now it's set up to be very similar to what it was in the old game, except everything is way, way bigger. The world is I think three times bigger than it used to be. The biomes are bigger. The spaces in between the biomes where they in fact, since we're sitting here in front of the screen, why don't we show a little bit of this off? Again, Black Hood, thank you for the donation. He's saying that he's talking about making videos. I always love when you guys make videos. We watch them all the time. I regularly look for videos from you guys, so I appreciate all the videos. Let me just zip out here to I think I'm gonna end up in the mountains up here, and to give you an idea, to look at some of these transition zones. Green light, green arrow. This is, I have my little compass here in the bottom of the screen. And these, I think, I'm trying to remember what the size of the world used to be, but I expanded all of this. And I actually have a lot of, oops, do I have a, oh yeah, sorry. I have a lot of, new, and I think I was trying to answer questions while I'm doing this, which is a little difficult. Somebody's asking if we're planning on adding armor. I would love to do that eventually. I don't think it's going to ship when the game ships. Um, Somebody's asking if the zombie. Here we go. Okay, so we're like this is the transition zone between the mountains and the Arctic, and this used to be kind of like a line. Oh, you get to see our ice here too. Ice looks cool in the sun. This is our new ice texture, and it's kind of cool when it breaks. And one of the cool things about Unreal Engine is that, let me just take some of these blocks away, is that the light will shine like through these blocks, like translucent, which ends up looking, I'm trying to find a place where this really shows off and looks cool. Like the light here is like actually shining through the bricks, and you can, you could see the bricks light up and pass the light through. But anyways, the transition zones are another donation from Vixen. I appreciate this so much. Like you guys, it's unbelievable the support that we've gotten from you. Somebody's asking, this is a really good question. We haven't made the stuff yet. Somebody's asking if the iconic gem will be in the side of the gun. I actually want to change that, but we're in the process of designing the weapons right now. I want the guns themselves to look like they're more made out of the item that they were. So like a gold gun would look like something that was made of gold. But we're in the process of designing that stuff, and we are doing that right now. Again, more donations. Thank you, thank you so much. I can't express how much I appreciate this. Somebody's asking about lore. So the question here is like, will there be more lore in the CMZ added to the remaster? One of the things I like about the game is that you get to sort of like make up your own story, but we're trying to sort of tie things up together and build sort of a cohesive backstory to it. And the story that I always the theme that I keep telling everybody in all this is like Navy SEALs fighting dragons. Like that's to me what this is all about. So the setup of like why that's there and stuff. I don't know that initially, especially in release, that we're going to get there because we're trying to really recreate the same game in the best way possible. But I don't. But we'll try to do that. We've had a lot of talk about this on the team. Somebody's asking if the music is somebody's asking if the music is going to play the different differences. Yeah, and I think I'm going to keep the same music for the biomes, and we're going to add music on top of that. And where that music comes from, I'm not really sure yet. A lot of the music on the soundtrack is AI generated, and people were upset by that. And we have to, on our game, if at this point, if we spend $1 or 1 hour in one place, we have to take it away from something else. And we're just trying to provide for you the best game possible. So what I said in the forums was that if this bothers people and we get funded in the Kickstarter, we'll remove the tracks that people object to, basically. But in the same time, we really are just concentrated in giving you the best product. And the AI thing is interesting to talk about because I think a lot of people have a lot of different feelings about this. And I can go through my backstory, but I just got done funding an AI company. And one of the people on our teams is definitely like an AI expert in the industry. And I think that the objections to this come in like two flavors. And one of them is that AI produces junk, which is on some level true, and the other one is that it's like unethical. And I think that it's sort of valid to have both of those beliefs. The first one of AI creating junk is, to me, a poor use of AI. I think that if you just take the laziest path with the AI, you end up definitely with junk. And one of the things that me and this expert of the team have done a lot of work for is getting the AI to do things for us in a way where it's not junk. And I think if you look at our other videos, you'll see that we have a tool that I call Syntastic, which I want to actually support. I want to actually sell and support. And it's a AI coding tool. We haven't been able to use this on this project yet because it doesn't actually work very well with Unreal. But sometimes I use it for like auxiliary tools and research and things like that. But it's sort of like if you use the AI in its most basic way, you get absolute junk. But then there's like a very, as you get more expert of building this stuff, you actually can get the AI to do really sort of amazing things for you. And it's really a revolutionary technology in game development. With that said, we don't, aside from the soundtrack, we don't have any AI art in the game so far. And if we get to the end of the project and there is no AI art in the game, it's probably unlikely that we will leave the soundtracks in. And if we get funded with the Kickstarter, we sort of don't have to. It would be easy for us to source the music from very high quality sources. But right now, with a very constrained budget, we have to make a decision. Like literally, if $1 comes from one place, it has to come out of something else. And what you do in games typically is that you look across all the things in the game and you decide like what are the most important things and where do we spend our time. And I mean, obviously, we would love to like do this forever and work on every part of the game in extreme detail. And I think there's a lot of teams that do that. Because it's sort of like a hobby for them. And I've seen examples that I've known independent developers that have worked on games for like 10 years or something like that. And we want this game to ship this year. So we would like to do everything possible to make that happen and make all the right decisions. And to be honest, we've worked on projects in the past where we have made wrong decisions with that stuff. And what I found is music was one of the places where it was kind of easy to offload things, where it didn't affect so much of the gameplay, or it wasn't like wound up in other pieces, so that we could sort of like, put that in its own quadrant and deal with that on its own. We got a couple other domain. I just want to call out the donations. It's another donation from Black Hood to buy myself an energy drink. I think I'm going to do that. I'm a Diet Coke addict, so I probably would go for one of those. Somebody's asking here, Boxer King, thank you for the donation. What's the most difficult creating the original CastleMiner versus the remake? The remake is much harder to make. I talk about this when I talked about this with, I was trying to get everybody on board with making this, is that we made the original game, I think in like 6 weeks or something like that. And we were making it off the back of the original CastleMiner game. So that wasn't really fair. But at that point, there was very low expectations, and we knew we were going to put out something simple that we were going to grow later on. At this point, it's hard because we have to make everything better than the original game, and we have to still honor the original game and what everybody wants. So we are... So yeah, the remake, I think just getting the remake right is hard. And the tools, I don't know, the tools, a lot of them are better. It's like harder in some ways and easier in other ways. Like it's easier to do certain things because there's more evolved tools. Like Unreal allows us to do things that we couldn't do in XNA easily. It's harder because we're not familiar with everything, and these tools are meant for shipping like AAA games. Maze Racer, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it so much. Monco, thank you for the donation. Again, I really appreciate this, guys. I did not expect this going into this chat. Somebody's asking is about is the original game modes and still. I definitely want to support all the original game modes. We haven't done it yet, so we see, but I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do that. Somebody's asking about controller support. It's funny you asked that. I got one. I got it right here. In fact, I can do it here. We got controller support already functioning in the game, so definitely no controller support, or definitely yes controller support. And I think that would allow us to probably hit the Steam Deck too, but I'm kind of reluctant to say that out loud. And voice acting, I don't think there's going to be any voice in the game, like actual, at least not in the shipping, and the vocal tracks won't be in there either. So I don't think they'll actually be out voice heard anywhere in the game, at least when it ships, unless things change. Somebody's asking, Black Hood, here's another donation telling me not to make NFTs anymore. I think I made like 2 of those and they're still mine, so I don't think we have a problem with that. He's also asking how we intend to market the game, and really the reality comes down to like you guys. It's like word of mouth, and you guys coming to the stream and supporting us. Like this is like coming like to our channel, watching our videos, watching our streams. It's all of this like ends up helping us in the end. And if you have friends that want to sign up in the beta, you know, pass that link around and show them. Somebody's asking if you could add more bosses. This is a really interesting question, because I would love to add more. I would love to add so much to the game. I think what I said originally about the game was when I was making it, I imagined it sort of like a 3D Terraria, where it's a game where you progress through a crafting tree and you end up fighting bosses. And I would love to have more bosses in the game. And again, it really comes down to the resources that we have available for us to make things. So like you have to imagine, like we are doing this on like bones right now. Like we are just everybody's just their time, and we without any sort of like very, very little ability to do this. And this is why the Kickstarter is very important to us. I'm going to before I forget, I want to make sure I just link the Discord channel because I said I was going to do that earlier. And I will pin that to the top. Again, the Discord channel is not run by us at all. It's completely fan driven. It's like these guys have done a great job over the years of modifying this of moderating and building this community on there, and they definitely deserve a thanks for doing that. Yeah, I appreciate somebody calling out the donation. The donations, I'm like totally taken back. I just came in here to just answer questions, and but it's I just am overwhelmed with the support here. Did not expect this at all. And I what I said before, we were really on a goal to get monetization added to the channel, and the only reason I really want that is because YouTube started running ads over our videos, like our trailers, and it was a little bit upsetting to me because typically we never ran ads over videos before. So to have YouTube do that on our behalf was sort of offensive to me. But you guys really came through, and we needed 3,000 view hours for that in a year, and we did it in like a month, and we are like really close to the 4,000 view hour mark. So you guys coming and watching these streams like has really made an absolute difference to you. But I appreciate, like, all of this money will go directly to development of the game, and everybody will be happy to hear that. Somebody said I forgot to show hell. I was down there at one point. This is the desert here, or no, this is the Arctic. Um, oops, we lost the game, which is fine because I will just restart this here. And again, Black Hood, thank you for the donation. Black Hood has said he wants a Grim Reaper. I would love to have a Grim Reaper too. I think that's like bad as fuck. Like it's really good. Oh, somebody's asking if the iconic sound of the game when it starts a new day is still like absolutely. That is totally not going to change. Like that was one of the things we put in at the last second, like the day counter, and I always thought that was super cool. Let's somebody want to go back down to hell? We could totally do that. We could put that in the background. Well, we actually, you know what? I've gotten to know this world really good. And in this, if we go down in this corner, there's some cool stuff to see. The caves are very, very detailed now and deep, and there's a lot of stuff inside of them. There's big open spaces and stalactites and stalagmites. Just shoot down there again. The donations. I'm just. Oh my God. Tortafrida Ninja. Thank you so much. I don't even know what to say. That is, I appreciate your donation so much. Somebody's asking about will we be able to change texture packs and make the game more friendly to low tier PCs? Greeting from Argentina. We would love to have you replace texture packs in the game. First of all, like that, we would love to facilitate this. We're back in hell. This every once in a while, I get a weird issue down here where there's like fog showing through, but this is a bug that we're trying to work out. I'm going to leave this on the screen. Is this? Oh no, I'm not even showing it. Here we go. Like I can do this in the background. Yeah, there we go. And are we more friendly to low tier PCs? Unreal Engine has a way of like, so right now we're using like top tier technology. Unreal Engine is allowing us to do, let me click this so that it doesn't run so bad. Unreal Engine allows us to have, turn my light off. To have like we're using real-time ray tracing for everything, but it also allows us to pull things back down to a level that potentially we could even run on mobile devices. So at some point there'll be some sort of fallback to computers that would lower end PCs. Zach Rose, thank you for the donation. He's talking about thank you for recreating my childhood. Doesn't matter how long it takes. I appreciate this so much. It's been such a long time. It's been hard to get everybody together to do this. But everything is going, if you follow the streams, everything is going super, super fast right now. So if you follow the streams, it's like there's new stuff every week. And really my goal is that this game I want it to come out in this year sometime. So hopefully, well, I don't want to say anything, but we would like to get this in. There's still a lot to do. And the donations you're giving us actually really help a lot because every little bit of money we have here goes directly into getting stuff built for the game. So I really appreciate that. Vixen, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it so much. This is an overwhelming amount of support. Somebody's asking here, will there be different aliens and zombies in different biomes? We will probably replace we'll definitely replace all the models for the enemies with something. I have plans for new biomes and new areas, but again, this will all be stuff that happens post-release. One true playa Brown. Amazing. Thank you so much for the donation. They're asking again, saying that thank you for playing. They're asking which consoles it's going to be dropping on. I am a registered developer for PlayStation and Xbox. I have not shipped a game through those programs yet. So hopefully, though, like the plan is Xbox and PS5 is in. If that doesn't happen, it's because they stopped us and not. Boxer King, thank you again for the donation. Thank you so much. Will you ever consider adding a skill tree abilities? It's something I've thought of. We'd like to add a lot of different things to the game, and it's something that we would love to do. Again, it's like how well the game is received in the end. Thank you. I just have to stop and just another one. Asterisk Shadow. Thank you for the donation. Will there any chance they'll have dungeons and treasure maps? So this is really interesting because one of the games that we were going to make, and there's videos of this around, was a game called CastleMiner Dungeons, where it was a very similar world, and you would basically go through procedural dungeons. And this is definitely something I want to roll into CastleMiner Z, where you basically stumble across dungeons. And I don't want to give too much away because I'm actually thinking about doing this on one of the next dev streams. But there's a bunch of steps that lead up to that, but I would like to end up rolling those games together and making a dungeon experience inside of this game. Somebody's asking, Tanner, thank you so much for the donation. Will the FOV slider? Yeah, I would imagine that we would definitely put an FOV slider. A lot of times you don't. FOV is an interesting issue because it's a balancing issue if you're playing competitive multiplayer games where some people have wider FOV than others. So if you're making like a competitive multiplayer game, like sometimes you don't want people to have an FOV slider, but there's no reason why we wouldn't have it on here unless we run into some technical issues. In the past, I know that we've run into issues with like the distance between like your hands and the camera and things like that. And it's possible we might run into this again. But it's barring that, I don't see any reason why there isn't an FOV slider. It is in fact me. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. And what they're asking, what he's asking, I would love to have stat tracking, a track that tracks each enemy killed, blocks mined. I made a post about it in the Discord field section titled Stat Tracking. Yeah, I'm really big on stat tracking. It's actually pretty easy to put in. It's sort of like we used to do this with the achievements, and we actually kept stats on lots of different things and only gave the achievements on some of them. And it's usually just like a pass that we do at the end of the game where we put the stats in. But we should definitely have like a screen where we expose the stats to you. Black Hood is, thank you again for the donations. He's asking, would we add portals to get other worlds like an underworld? I have a bunch of plans for this. I don't want to give away too much, and I also don't want to talk about things that we haven't done yet. I have a plan in my head for having other worlds, but I'm like John, the primary engineer on here. If I start saying this stuff out loud, he'll probably freak out because it's a I don't want to obligate him to work, and he's working so hard right now, like night and day, trying to just get basic things working, and he's making progress at a rate that is astounding to me. And he is really the only guy on the team who really, really understands Unreal Engine really, really well. So he's kind of teaching everybody at the same time, which I think is difficult for him because in the past, I wrote the XNA engine myself. And then we grew it as we built out the games. But I'm going into this sort of like working on his architecture, which is a little difficult. Gage Irwin, thank you for the donations. He's saying dungeons are a great idea. My plan, so I guess I could just say it here, is that if we go into the desert, maybe I'll just show this off. I don't have a whole lot of more time here, but seems to be a lot of things in this place. Let's hope it's not daytime, but whatever. There are pyramids in the desert now, and I want to build. Yikes! And we crashed. And that's, of course, what's going to happen to you guys every time you go in the desert. We'll have to launch Unreal here again and do this. Let me off of here while we're doing this. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have tombs under the pyramids and under the desert, and have a whole network of tombs under there, like basically like procedurally created. It would be the beginning of like procedurally created dungeons. And I had done this work already for CastleMiner Dungeons. So what I was going to do was have a live stream where I tried to build out the beginning of these dungeons. This is something that's a lot of work, and it's not something that is like, it's sort of creating more work for people than right now, and I'm trying really hard to get the game up and running before I sort of like side rail everybody. It's so like everybody, when they're giving suggestions for the game, they're sort of adding extra work to our thing. And although a lot of these suggestions are really great, and I think the pyramids actually came from let me flip over to the camera here. The pyramids actually came from a suggestion of somebody in the streams here. So we actually listened to all these suggestions, but we obviously don't, we can't possibly try to get to as many of them as we can. Yeah, let's move out in this. I know that there's a pyramid. It's actually a weird double pyramid out here. Here's one of the oases in the game. This is these appear periodically in the desert, palm trees. I think somewhere around, oh, here's one. Here's a pyramid out here. So, and this, it's funny because I've done so many of these screenshots. This pyramid actually looks cool if drag around the sun and the weather here. If I get the let's do partly cloudy and adjust the, don't know why the sky is not adjusting for me here, which is really strange. Like we just updated some stuff, and I'm wondering if we broke something. Don't know why that. There's a click here. I don't want to waste too much time on this, but anyways, it is one of the ideas that we had. I want to make sure I get to everybody with the donations. Like I can't. I just appreciate this so much and didn't expect it. Will there be more reloads? More models per category. Again, larger rain 11. Thank you for the donation. There's a lot of things I'd love to do with the weapons. We made a lot of first-person shooters. I'm afraid to talk about any of it right now because I don't know what'll end up making it in there. We'll have, the plan right now is to have revised guns in there, and to not to have revised guns and to make them look significantly different. They may work significantly different, but we'll definitely have new reload animators. Catastrophe, thank you for appreciate it. Thank you for the donation. Neota, are you able to add custom avatars? Can we get a custom avatar menu? We've talked about this several times. We're not going to ship with any character customization, but if the game is received well and we have the ability to do it, it will definitely be one of the things that will be, character customization will be one of the things that we'll be looking at doing. Somebody's plays 456. Somebody's talking about doing a public roadmap for the game. I would love to do that. We have sort of oh, there we go. The sky cleared up. We have a roadmap for the game internally, but we haven't really exposed it that much. Asura, again, amazing. Asura, thank you for the donation. The Gorwitch told me to donate. Good. Like, do what the Gorwitch tells you to do. Oh my God. Kisadesu. Looking great so far. Here's the future of humanity. A very, very generous donation. I appreciate this, guys. I did not come in here trying to ask for money. and I just am overwhelmed by the support that you're giving it. It is in fact me. Again, thank you for another donation. Will there be official mod support? Yes, I definitely want to support the mod community as much as, but like the mod community has left. The mod community has like supported us so much, and it's typically a difficult thing for do to get to do in games. But definitely it's something we probably will not have that like immediately on release, but it is something that like we will definitely prioritize. And again, depending on your level of support, we will definitely, you know, like we'll do more. I know that, like, for example, when we stopped doing things about 7 or 8 years ago, like everybody kind of went their separate ways, and they came back. And the thing that everybody wants to be able to do right now is to just do this again and do it full time. We like appreciate, like we've said this in the other streams, like we cannot express the gratitude that we have for you guys allowing us to do the thing that we love and being able to do it every day. And we're hoping that this turns out well, it's received well, and we get to continue to do it. Like this is, and everybody is sort of like risking like so much stuff in their life right now to make this happen. And like we're all like, I have to just, you know, imagine that things are gonna turn out well for us. But it's so amazing to have such a supportive community, and to really, you know, to be able to do this for you. Somebody's asking an interesting question. Have I ever been recognized in public? I don't get recognized in public, but a lot of people have played the game. And what will happen is I'll be like, oh, I made a video game on the Xbox, and they'll be like, well, which one? And they'll be like, oh my God, I played that in my life. And there's been so many people close to me that I keep running into, that have played the game. And there's just funny stories about this. Like I just run into people all the time where they're like, hey, what game did you make anyways? And it's like, oh my God, like you made that game. And I think this is actually a funny story worth telling, is that a couple months ago I was on GoDaddy support trying to get our website back up, and the support person talking to me actually knew the game, and they didn't believe it. They're like, no way you're the guy who made this. And I'm like, no way that you like know this game. This is so ridiculous. And it was like one of the things that like kind of prompted me to say like, how, wow, we really have to go back and make this. I have to leave here pretty soon, and I hate to do this because everybody is being so supportive. I promise I will have another one of these. You guys, again, I'm not asking for this, but I definitely appreciate it. Billin saying, thank you so much for the hard work. If you've got the free time, I'd love to schedule an interview for a video I'm working on. Yeah, I would. I'm definitely open to doing videos. I think reaching out probably on Discord is probably the best way to do that. There's other ways you could find me on the internet. I'm not particularly hard to find. Somebody's asking about bringing this to console. Yes, we have to bring this to console. I would love to stay here for another hour through this. I have to go to my daughter's concert here in a little bit, so I'll stay here as long as I can, and then I have to do that. But I'm gonna come back and do another dev stream where I'm working on the tombs, but probably not tonight. Somebody's asking what the most annoying part of the development is so far. And to be honest, there really hasn't been many annoying stuff. Working with Unreal has been pretty pleasant. You always run into problems and bugs, and those things are going to return. Will there be skins for returning players? I don't have any way to identify returning players. I wish I knew. I wish I had a way to do that. Somebody's asking about, again, thank you for the donation. If somebody's asking about attachments for the weapons, I would love to craft attachments for the weapons. Again, it's one of these things that is hard to put together. So it's probably not something we would have for release. We're just trying to get it's a very important thing for us to release the game and see if people are interested in it. Because everybody is worried about right now is that we're wasting our time, and we want to make sure that we're not wasting time. So if we can put the game out and it's obvious that people are buying the game and they're playing the game, then we will continue to work on it. But if we put the game out and nobody plays it, then it's not actually not possible for us to continue to do it. Um, and somebody's asking if I could set up a stream schedule. I was doing this pretty regularly. I was doing this on Tuesday nights. Um, and the problem I have is that the game is that, like we make sort of, our progress is not always like, oh, here the moon is coming up in the background. You can see this. It's pretty cool. That the progress we make is not always like visible to us. And sometimes if things are half done, I don't like to stream them because people will sort of like make comments about something that's half done. Somebody's asking about the price of the game on release. I have no idea. It's something that when we're closer to release, we'll look at. The Our games have always been pretty reasonable. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. And it's actually one of the hardest parts about putting games together because it's a very like critical part of doing things. So let me take a few more questions here, and I have to go off to a to my daughter's concert. Somebody's asking if there's going to be items past the bloodstone and laser stuff. Again, we're trying to get like sort of the basic stuff for the game running, and then it's easier to get feedback from the community in those after we get that, because the feedback we're getting is about real things, that we are real. The feedback we're getting is about things that are really in the game versus things that are hypothetically may or may not be in the game, and then people get to like play and see things in the game. Oh, somebody wants to see the new ore blocks. Totally can do that for you before I leave. Let me change it to daytime, and let me just go. Actually, the lagoon here is probably the best place to do this. I kind of like this. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the original CastleMiner game, which I thought was kind of cool once we put the water back in. This was the way it was always intended to be. We didn't have the water in CastleMiner Z before, and I think it was cool that we were able to get this in eventually. We had water in CastleMiner Warfare, but it never made its way back to CastleMiner Z. But we worked out all the problems with it, and it's rare for ores to show up now above ground. Let me just dig underground. It'll be the easiest way to do that. Oh, here's one right here. Here is coal. And let's see if we can. There's some more coal, a lot of coal. We should start seeing copper down here at some point. Maybe. Now, here's some copper in the wall here. And it's not going to look like right if I break it. And wonder if I could get some iron if I go deep enough into here. Somebody's asking here if the world will be randomly generated. The world has always been randomly generated. When we do development on the same world over and over again, just so that because we can know where stuff is. Here you're starting to see, I have this weird light on my character, so it's a little bit hard to see what these will actually look. Oh, there's some iron and some diamonds here. So here's some iron. Let me give you a better idea. If I could do this, a better idea of what this is going to look like. Shooting the ground here. Yeah, these are lit in a different way. And then there was some, oh, I think I just covered it up. No, the diamonds are right there. So these are the diamonds, and there is iron. I actually am going to need to get going here. Um, so a couple, I'm going to try to just hit some of these questions really fast before I go. Again, before I get cut off, I want to make sure that the support here is overwhelming. Did not come on here thinking to get donations from you. So like, to me, I've always said like just you coming here we have so much gratitude for that. And I'm just overwhelmed by the support that the community has given us. Somebody's asking if we can post more TikToks. Sure, I'll do that. I'm trying to post as much stuff as possible. There was one of them I wanted to answer here. We crossplay, we did that already. Will torches emit light when held? This is actually an interesting one because we have been working on this recently. Yes, that is the plan. The things that you hold in your hand will give you things, and there'll be other things that you can hold that will give you light. Like the plan for right now is glow sticks and road flares. And you'll be able to throw them around and do stuff. And then we're going to have torches, hopefully kind of in the same way, but they're going to look really, really good. And I'm excited to get this torch light in because it'll be sort of an amazing improvement to the lighting of the game, and will really show off the lighting engine that we have running. Somebody asked here if we have the far out area with all the ore and rock. Yes, we always refer to it as the descent, and it's definitely in the game. It's just a lot longer now because, first of all, it's longer and the world is way deeper. And I want to make sure I acknowledged again everybody who gave donations here. Just did not expect that at all. Didn't really think that. And somebody's asking about flashlight attachments. Yeah, that's another part of it. Like lighting on your body will be a big part of it. This is an interesting question. I'll take this one. I'll take one more. Is that they were talking about, there was a company that did a lot of updates for CastleMiner Z, and they were talking about, I have a lot of respect for this company. They did a lot of great things. They were really good with the community. Some of the design decisions I just wouldn't have done myself. But one more link to the Kickstarter. Let me give you one more link to the Kickstarter while we're here in the last couple minutes. But one of the things I didn't like were the bonus blocks. I feel like it upset the balance of the game, and I think that was kind of like the big thing for me. I think I probably would have added more stuff to the game to have you to get things versus adding more stuff to the game for you to get versus making it easier to get the stuff in the game that was there already. But again, that company did a really great job, and I appreciate that. But the version that you're going to get of the game is sort of like the vanilla Xbox version, and we're going to move on from there. This will be the last question that I answer. Somebody's asking how much of the game have we done so far, and in my estimation, it's probably like a little bit more than like a third, like 30%. So I think that we went from like essentially like December to now for a third. It's really hard to tell. Like I don't know. Like typically what happens is you get to like 80% and then you don't realize how much work is there, so it could take longer. But we've also moved faster than we did before, so it's not like I have like a list and I'm checking off things. But I would say that right now the world looks pretty much like it's going to look. The rendering and the graphics are all this. A lot of really big accomplishments. The AI is essentially in there right now, even though we don't have the right players, and the guns are coming online. The next big part will be like there's a couple other things we're going to be putting in, and while we're putting in models, we'll be doing networking. And the problem there is that the networking will just take a very long time. There won't be much to show as we're doing the networking. I'm gonna sign off now. Again, I appreciate all the things that you guys have done. I'll make sure that I do these often, and I'll schedule them. And I'll keep showing you stuff. And again, like, thank you so much for the support. register for the Kickstarter. Just shows us that that how much people are interested in the game, and appreciate everybody coming here. Cannot possibly thank you enough. Thank you.